to order the special meeting that we've called today. I don't know if you want to note the board members who are here.
I have.
Okay.
Okay, so a quorum is established then?
Quorum is established. So I'll go down the agenda items here. So the first item on our agenda is to review and discuss the petition recalls for Ron Perez, Karen Smith, and Simeon Mercado. So I have to notice to the board that based on the conclusion of our legal counsel, Stephanie Hayes.
Okay, can I make just one suggestion? Is that...
How about I finish this and then you can make a suggestion?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, how about that? So notice the conclusion by our legal counsel, Stephanie Hayes, approved for me to seek at our last special meeting regarding the recall petition for Simeon Mercado, to be determined invalid given the fact the petition served no legal purpose as the recall petitions were collected when Simeon was not on the HOA board during a time for which he had not been on the board and resigned. Therefore, Simeon's recall is invalid.
Okay. So there's going to be do we have to make a motion or discuss this?
Well, we can only really discuss the items on the agenda, so if it pertains to these items,
Okay.
that's fine, we can talk about it.
So what's going to happen is that we can discuss it, but we can't discuss it in front of Simeon, Ron, and Karen, because it'll be a conflict of interest. Dave, you got that?
Yeah.
In Davis Sterling, it says that, and you can read this, and maybe I'll read the part of it that says that you can hand out to whoever wants one.
Anyone like a copy of
Okay.
Recusal.
Why don't I, so who is this?
Recusal. David, please go.
Recusal. In each case, the director has a personal interest in the outcome of the vote.
We should get on this.
Okay? So we're going to make a motion, and we should vote on this and whether we should follow that. Okay? An interest not shared by the other directors. In such instances, the interested director should voluntarily recuse himself by leaving the meeting so the remaining directors can freely discuss and vote on the issue. If he were to stay, his presence could inhibit discussion and influence the vote. So based on that, I'm asking Simeon, Karen, and Ron to remove themselves so us three board members can vote and discuss the issue you just brought forward.
Okay, I tell you what, let me finish going down the other items and then we can address that, okay? So, second notice. Notice to the board. Notice the board that a forgery was presented to me at the last regular board meeting.
Okay, hold on, Rob, I'm gonna have to stop you because
let
that
me
is
finish my
no,
point, George.
that is not on the
George.
agenda. That is not on the agenda. It's
It
not
is
agendized item.
concerning the recall petitions.
They
It is
shouldn't be
on
here
the
then.
agenda.
They shouldn't be here then.
We're going to go forward.
I don't think you should.
Notice
I'll,
to the
I'll
board.
have to object that he's going forward with this when they shouldn't be here.
No-
And those
no
items
objection.
were not discussed. Those items were not discussed on the agenda that was posted out in front of the poll.
So let's be clear. Review and discuss petition recall status for Ron Perez, Karen Smith, and Simeon Mercado. This has exactly to do with the petition recalls. There's a forgery on the petitions.
Well, let's see that. See, I have.
The
Here's
evidence. The evidence is with Frank Blenn at AMS.
Well, I'm a board member. Shouldn't I be able to
there
be
will
able
be
to look
an
at that evidence?
independent commit. No, actually, because it impacts you guys, because you guys were passing around the recall petitions.
Yeah, that's going to have
So
to
an
be
independent
proven.
committee
You
will
can't
be
can't say
appointed
that.
to
Rob,
investigate
you just
that.
can't say that it was me doing it. This has to be.
That's right.
This has to be done by an independent
You're right.
person.
So we're appointing an independent committee to look into the forgery
Okay.
and to see if there's
okay.
more
Let
forgeries
me ask
that
you,
exist.
who is looking into it? That is operative word.
So my recommendation. We'll go down the list and we'll get to it.
But
George,
Rob, I'm a
George.
board member. Why am I not privy to what you're going to read and what you're
Because
doing?
this meeting was called to order by me,
But
the president.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, Rob.
Doesn't
I will
matter.
get to
Why
it.
don't you
George,
disseminate this information to
disrespecting
us?
the
Stop
board
stalling.
members.
Let me get
No,
to the
stop
rest of the
stalling.
points.
I just want to make
You,
that.
Let me get
no,
to the
you
rest
have
of the
not
points.
presented the information to the board.
Yes, Yes,
To the
please.
board.
So I like you noted that objection that these three board members should not be here when we discuss these issues.
Okay.
Why don't you
So I'll
let him
finish.
talk?
I'll
Okay,
finish.
fine.
So notice to the board that the existence of two not on titles that were on the petitions. The evidence will stay with Frank at AMS.
And like I said, that should be done
They'll be
independently.
researched
By who?
by a committee.
Let him finish.
As a result,
Ron, you be quiet.
I'll make a motion to appoint an independent committee made up of our inspectors of election. That would be the recommendation by legal counsel at the last recall. If they agree at our next regular board meeting, we'll investigate the other signatures in the recall, including the previous recall for Brent Wahlberg and Russ Grable, as a forgery existed on those recall petitions. That was a motion. You want me to repeat the motion?
Yeah.
Motion to appoint independent committee made up of our inspector of elections at the last recall, if they agree, at our next regular board meeting, they will investigate the other signatures in the recall to determine if there's any more forgeries on the recalls, and including the original recalls.
Can I say something now? That you're finished?
After I'm done I'm done going through the list.
Now I got this in my mind. I'd like to say something.
Well, you can hold it. You got a big brain. Let's just hold on to it for a moment.
You're a board member.
Why don't you let him
Let me
discuss?
finish. Let me finish
Yeah,
going
I just
through
want
this.
to- I want
I'm
to give
sure
you my
I'll
comment.
answer your question, George. And if
I
I
just-
don't, you can ask me afterwards. Period.
No, I want to ask in front of these good
We have to
people.
finish the motion.
Well, they shouldn't be here in front of the motion. They shouldn't even be involved in this motion.
You've already discussed that. I think you're jeopardizing it. You've been a board member. You know how it goes.
Yeah, and this is
Yes,
not the way it
and we know
goes.
how it
No,
It doesn't go this
he
way.
needs to finish it.
No.
No.
Okay.
We weren't even privy to what he's reading.
You are now.
Let's
Let's move on.
Okay, guys,
Let's
guys.
move on.
That's a little
This is a
late.
bit. I'm
You
sorry.
should've handed
Just
this
board members
beforehand.
only. Board members only. Okay, so that was the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I'd like to say that Ron Perez should not be seconding any motion that has to do with
To
it.
appoint an independent committee?
That too.
Okay. Well, your objection. Note the objection. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Aye.
Second, given the question of the validity of the first set of recalls, I make a motion to request our first recall inspector of elections, as previously mentioned, to investigate the validity of the votes of the first recall. This will include to verify that members who voted, particularly landlords, did in fact vote. Likewise, those homeowners who did not vote did in fact not vote.
Could you explain that? I don't get it.
Because there was a forgery on the first election, we're going to go back and ensure that all the votes were proper.
I mean, every 180 votes, you're going to go back and ensure.
It's up to the committee. It's up to the committee to investigate if they
And
want.
who's appointing this committee again?
I just motioned to appoint the committee. It's the inspector of elections. It's allowed for in our code under the election rules. They have general authority to look into the results of the election.
When were you going to inform Dave and I
I
about this?
just did. That's the purpose of this meeting.
Shouldn't.
I'm sorry?
What's the forgery about?
I'm sorry. You can ask at the next session. I can't go into who the forgery is upon the advice of legal counsel.
I didn't receive that email from legal counsel about any forgery. What
Okay,
was that?
well,
Was that every
that's-
board member should
I've
be
been
put on that?
afforded the ability to talk to legal counsel personally because,
Who afforded
again,
you that authority?
it was voted at the last special meeting that
Oh,
you guys
really?
opted to not go
No,
to.
that's a
No,
lie.
I don't think that. Where
That's a
are the
lie.
minutes of that
No.
meeting? They were
The
supposed
minutes
to
of
be.
that meeting will be approved at our next regular board meeting. You guys can take a look at it. You guys, again, opted not to go to the
That's a
last
lie.
board meeting.
You are lying.
That was
Plenty of people here saw you guys. So,
No,
You made a
you're
motion.
lying, Rob.
yes, that was a motion. Can I have a second?
Meeting minutes are supposed to be finished and
Second.
approved within what,
Second.
15 days of when they're when those. After
Well,
they
that
were-
would be a first because I don't think this board has ever done that.
Or 30
Well, that
days.
would be a first. Okay.
It's always been 30 days.
All in favor?
Well,
Aye.
All against?
aye. But here's the
Meeting to
thing.
meeting has been 30 days.
Here's the thing: is that they have to be corrected and signed by the secretary, Ron, before they can be approved. And what I believe is that our last 4 meeting minutes have not been approved by Ron Perez.
They've not been signed.
But they've not been assigned.
Mike,
I-
you cannot speak.
They haven't
Mike,
been
this is
signed.
not for homeowners.
You're not the manager.
I'm just trying to, I'm
It's
just
not
trying to
for
correct.
homeowners.
Wait, come on.
Hold on, okay?
I'm just trying to
This is-
correct
this is-
You
something.
cannot
You
speak.
got a problem with
Okay,
that?
hold on.
Yes, it
hold
is.
on.
You do,
Hold
you
on.
have a problem with
You
that. Say
back
that.
off, Simeon. You show some respect.
Say that you have a
You
problem with
understand?
that.
Respect.
Hey,
Hold on.
this is a regular board meeting. Let's keep the
Okay.
proper decorum.
So what I want to state is that those 4 meeting minutes have not been signed by Ron Perez.
Okay,
And they've
stated
been
for the
asked
record.
several times.
And he's been asked several times to sign them, so we can't pin this on anyone else than the person who's supposed to sign and approve them.
Noted.
Okay, so you noted the motion passed?
Yes.
Okay. So notice that petition rescission forms have been received by me as of a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, all right, were you going to let us know about those? Let us see those, Rob?
You can take a look at them. They'll be
as soon
provided
as-
to you.
Why didn't you notify me when they did come
Again,
in, or
I'm
that you were
notifying
doing
you
this?
now, George.
See,
No,
that's not
you're not
proper.
answering the question.
That's not.
I
Why
wouldn't
didn't you?
answer-
I don't have an obligation.
Yes,
Yes,
when,
you do.
When a
As
homeowner
board
comes to
president,
me,
as a board
as a
president,
homeowner comes to
you
me in
should- you
private
should
with
notify.
rescission forms, I
is
will
that
inform
homeowner?
you now at a proper board meeting. We do not do business of the board outside of board meetings. You know the rules.
lying. You know you're
I don't
lying.
think so.
You
Now
are
you're splitting
lying,
hairs.
Rob.
Mike,
No, you are lying. You've been caught doing board business.
We've got a lot of.
Mike,
there's
you aren't
nothing
allowed
to be
to speak
caught
here.
of, Mike.
Because
You weren't at
it's
the
not on
last
the
board
general.
meeting.
It's not on the
You weren't at
general
the last
agenda.
board meeting, and you weren't at the last board meeting.
Yes, I was
You
at
do
the
not
last
know
board
what
meeting.
motions were passed and
You
what
are
business has
lying,
been done
Rob.
since then.
He was
You
at the last
abused your
board meeting.
authority. Rob,
There's no authority to abuse.
I have a
guys.
question.
Okay, let me ask you.
Everybody
What is that last
will
board
have
meeting?
to take a look at the board minutes,
Well,
and they'll see exactly
I
what
have a
happened.
question for you. For the record.
We're going to keep moving.
No, I'm a board member and you will respond to me.
If
for
you
the
ask,
record.
if you ask in a respectful way and
When
not
you don't
yell
shut
at
me
me,
up.
In a
You
respectful
don't
way.
shut me
I'm
up.
sorry. He is asking in a respectful way.
Okay? Were
know,
the
but
other
I'm
board
getting
members
pissed off.
privy to the letter that you sent Stephanie Hayes? For the record, they have not seen it.
which letter are you referring to?
The one you sent to Stephanie Hayes about the recall of Simeon. Were they privy?
I will.
Have
You
they
know
seen
what?
it?
I cannot answer that question because Stephanie Hayes was not involved in that.
You said you sent criteria to Stephanie Hayes
Don't-
about
We're not going to
Simeon's
twist.
recall.
We're
No.
not going to. Well, on Simeon's recall, yes.
Yes.
That's what I'm
Yes.
referring
That's
to.
what- well,
now
that's
I'm
what,
asking you
David-
very
David-
simply.
You
Have
will-
the other
you
no,
will-
We've
no.
never seen that
You will not do
criteria.
this. Have the
Ever.
other board members, for the record, seen the letter you sent Stephanie Hayes? For the record.
What I want
I
to
believe they
establish.
actually have at this point.
Then for
They
the,
have now.
See, this is what I want to establish, Rob, is that Dave and I aren't privy to things that are sent out to attorneys, that are sent out to the
Okay.
rest of the board members.
Let me
Hold on,
answer- let me
finish.
answer that
Let me
question.
finish. And we should be CC'd or copied
I
on
agree you
every
should.
board
I
business.
agree you should.
And that hasn't happened. And that's happened ever
For
since
this
you started
partic-
being president.
For these particular recall petitions,
No.
it was identified at the last board meeting that you guys were circulating them. Upon the advice of legal counsel, I've been asked to keep you out of the loop on those particular correspondence with the legal counsel.
Well, why didn't she tell us that? That George,
I'm
Dave,
telling you now.
she should tell us that, Rob, not you.
I
She
will,
should-
you know
to
what?
be totally
It's-
independent.
It's not
She should
a
say,
she,
George.
It's a different legal counsel. I'll have that legal counsel advise you.
No, another legal counsel.
Who is this?
Big
That's right.
surprise.
That's
Who is
right.
Why don't you write to
Because
us and
when you
say,
guys were
George,
at-
Dave,
not
you
at
guys
the
are
last board
not going to
meeting,
be
you don't
privy
know.
to this,
Right.
to these discussions.
Yeah. Okay, your point is made. I think everybody thinks
Okay.
that you're
But-
not copied
No,
on
no, no,
everything, so
no.
that's
What,
fine.
what I'm saying
Fine.
is there's business being conducted without the full approval and notification of the
The
board.
business concerns potential disciplinary actions of board members. Therefore, you guys are left off that
Disciplinary
communication.
actions. Well, we should know about
Potentially.
that.
It affects your guys' standing on the
Well,
board.
don't we should? We're a board member. We
All
should
right,
know
well,
about
that's
that,
enough.
Rob. When you do these things
I'm
back,
moving on,
you know,
George.
without
Moving
us
on,
knowing
George.
about it, that's not good. That's hiding things from the people, and that's hiding things from us. There's not
You
full
are
disclosure or
abusing your
transparency
position,
here,
Rob.
Rob.
Rob, and it's going to catch up. Because it's going to
You've
catch
even
up.
said you've been
So
only,
keep
you know,
this
involved
smile.
for 2 weeks or 2 months here, and here you're making decisions that affect the full board membership
Gentlemen.
within two, you know,
Gentlemen,
just
could
being,
we move on?
just being
We're
on
gonna
the,
move on.
as president.
I'm on notice. You guys aren't copied on things that you believe you should be copied on. I'm telling you,
When
it
will-
pertain you because you circulated the petitions. We'll deal with it later.
No, we will deal with it now in front of everyone.
We're not going
I'm-
to deal with
Rob,
it now because it's
Rob,
an executive session item. Potentially has
Rob,
to do with disciplinary
Are
action.
you going to forward the
I can't
opinion?
address that.
And
You're gonna
here's the
forward
thing,
your
as far,
opinion?
as, far
No,
as
I
that's
cannot.
concerned, that
Then how do we know
the
you're
members,
telling it true?
no, because yeah, but here's some things, Karen.
Let him
that
You know what?
Karen,
If we
here's some
can't
things.
finish, we'll suspend the meeting.
Well,
you
I
do
just
that.
want to make my point because you know this affects me. That if a board member is about to be disciplined, he should know that he's going to be disciplined.
That's why I'm supposed
I
to
said
step
potential
out when you talk about.
disciplinary action. You guys are making a leap, aren't you?
Well, we should know about any potential disciplinary
I'm sure
action.
if there is some, you'll find out about it.
Well, you said there is some potential, so we should know about that, Rob. Why don't you fairly
there-
disclose that to us instead of
Okay.
keeping it in the dark?
We'll move on.
No, you have not answered the question. Are we going to get the information? So in other words, you're telling me that you arbitrarily are making decisions. and we're
Not
supposed to-
arbitrarily.
We
With
are
the advice
supposed.
of legal counsel.
Well, I'm sorry.
Which legal
We have no
counsel?
proof of that. We have no proof but your word. Give us
Okay,
proof.
you can talk to the management company. You can talk to the other board members. They've seen it.
No, I'm
We're
asking
asking
you.
you
I'm
as
asking you
president,
as president.
Rob, as
Demonstrate
I
proof.
can.
No, I mean you're asking us to believe.
I tell you what. I will investigate if there's a way that I can provide proof that this has actually occurred, and I'm not just making it up. I think so. Yeah. But at the moment, I can't go into any.
No, you know how you do this? Tell you what, you have this mystery attorney email us to verify what you're saying.
Okay.
Have them everybody.
That's,
We
you
can
guys
be
can motion
copied.
that. I'll pass that.
I'll pass that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I favor that.
Was this attorney
Wait a
done without the rest of you guys knowing this?
We
Yes,
knew nothing of
We
it.
knew anything about it.
Because it was motioned at the last
No, it
session.
wasn't.
You guys were not at.
Well, we weren't
You
invited
weren't-
to that.
Yes, you were.
No,
We
weren't.
were not, Rob.
No,
We
no,
were
no,
not.
no, that's a lie.
not even
That's a
addressing
lie,
that.
Karen. That's a
You
lie.
are-
You know that's a
Okay.
lie.
Misrepresenting item.
Stop. Next item. Yeah. So I'll say again. I will say again.
7th grade, from a junior high school.
I will say again. Petition rescission forms have been received by me.
I am not lying.
They have been reviewed by legal counsel.
Karen, please be quiet.
Yes, you are. You've been lying.
Rescission forms have determined to be legal and valid
I hate being called a liar when I'm not.
By whom?
I've been called a liar.
by legal counsel.
I can say a lot of
And
things.
which
that you lied
legal
about me
counsel
with
is this?
regarding-
For the
I will
record?
have the same legal counsel. I have them email you. So I provide.
other thing-
Lastly,
one
now
other
I
thing-
provide notice
I
that
hope you're
given the
not
number
using
of
association funds for this. If you're using association funds without member approval, that's another thing you shouldn't be doing. And I want to get that for the tape. If he's using association funds for this without notifying the members, because I got a document here that anything that affects the members, such as this, the members should be notified.
Okay.
And if you're doing it without, yes, it is.
I hear you.
Move on.
Notice. I'll notice finally that given the number of signatures that have been determined to be illegal or rescinded as previously mentioned, I've been advised by legal counsel that the recalls for Karen Smith and Ron Perez can no longer proceed. The recalls for Karen and Ron are stopped
And when is this going to happen?
immediately, effective upon the final signature that was put onto the rescission form.
And the rescission form? Let me tell you this, okay? You can invalidate this, their recalls, but
I'm not
tomorrow.
invalidating the recall.
Well,
Somebody
you brought-
signed rescission forms and
No,
brought
no,
it to me.
you're behind this. You know what?
I'm behind
Okay,
this. I just came onto the board last month.
You know, come on,
me a
Rob. Come on.
break.
You know you're behind this, but
Yeah.
that's besides the point. I can tell.
This is just hilarious.
Yeah.
You guys are behaving like junior high school kids.
Big puppet
Come on.
master.
Here's.
Yeah,
I gotta
okay.
say this.
Stop it already, Ron.
I can say this.
No,
You can
we're
invalidate the
done.
recall for Simeon. You can invalidate the recall for Karen and Ron. By Wednesday, we'll have 50 signatures to recall all of you. Okay. If you can claim that they're forged or not, you can do your whole thing again. But I tell you this, we can have 50 signatures
Okay.
for them, including
We'll be
you,
looking for
you, and you.
We'll be looking for
Okay.
them.
Well, you don't have to look too far, Rob. I've had this sitting